Thank you, Fel, and good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking time to join us today. My name is Arvind Rajan, and I'll be presenting this topic on lift and shift on-premise applications to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So let's get started, and the agenda I wanted to share with all of you today is as follows. I first wanted to give you a very brief introduction to Astute Business Solutions and what some of our cloud services and competencies are. And moving on quickly from that, we'll come to the main topic by starting off with a discussion on what cloud means to people. When you talk about cloud, what are the different types of cloud services you hear when you talk to others, when you are approached by vendors, and how do you determine what is the right cloud model for you? Some of you may have already started some internal discussions in your organizations about public versus private versus hybrid. So we'll dig a little deeper into that and give you the pros and cons of each so that you can make an informed decision when the time is right for your organization. From there on, we'll start shifting our focus to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure specifically. Oracle Cloud has capabilities across many areas, infrastructure services being one of them. There's also platform services and software as a service applications that are available, as most of you know. But in today's webinar, we'll be focusing on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And within that, we'll speak specifically about how you can lift and shift your Oracle apps and databases to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So after that is done, we'll talk about how all of that works. We'll give you some use cases, and we'll supplement those use cases with some recent cloud success stories. And then we'll try to leave sufficient time towards the end for Q&A. And as Sal said, when we get to the Q&A section, if all of you can use the chat feature on WebEx to send all of your questions to me, Arvind Rajan, on WebEx. And while you're sending those questions, if you can introduce yourself briefly and your company and your background, or whether you have cloud today or not, that would be helpful and will allow us to give you more precise answers. If we run out of time for some reason and we're not able to get to all of your questions, please feel free to email your questions to us. We'll be collecting all of those and answering them and publishing an FAQ after the webinar is done. So let's talk a little bit about Astute Business Solutions. We are a Oracle Cloud partner, and we are also an Oracle Cloud customer. And I'll tell you why we are also a customer. So for the last 12 plus years, we've been working as an on-prem applications partner focusing on PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, EBS, and Hyperion. But in the last 2 years, we've also become an Oracle Cloud customer. Prior to that, we were running most of our workloads, Oracle Apps workloads, on Amazon Cloud Services. And last year, we evaluated Oracle Cloud and made the decision to move all of those workloads to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Hence, we are a customer. And as a partner, over the last 18 months, our focus has started shifting towards helping customers deploy their Oracle and non-Oracle workloads on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. In addition to bringing that deep on-prem implementation, upgrade, and support experience for Oracle applications, we also provide managed services for customers who want to consider moving their workloads to Oracle Cloud and may not have the capability to manage and support both Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and the applications running on Oracle Cloud. So we have the ability to provide managed services so that you don't have to do that. And then the last section you see at the bottom there is advisory services. We think it is very important for customers to have a solid foundation on cloud and make the right decisions based on what is the right cloud solution for them. And the way we help them make those decisions is by providing advisory services, doing cloud strategy workshops, helping them with POCs, designing their cloud architecture, and helping them arrive at the right solution that way. In terms of our Oracle Cloud Infrastructure services, this is what we are offering today, lift and shift, which is allowing you to move your workloads, Oracle Apps workloads like PeopleSoft, JDE, EBS, and so on, using the tools that Oracle has already provided, and in most cases, those tools will be extremely useful and they'll accelerate your migration to cloud. But in cases where you may be running legacy versions, we have other solutions to still efficiently move your workloads to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And by the way, you'll see this acronym here going forward in this presentation, where we are referring to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure as OCI as a short form, just to simplify things going forward. Some of you who have already seen Oracle Cloud presentations before may also be familiar with this term called Oracle Public Cloud. And Oracle's recently gone through some rebranding, so the Oracle Public Cloud terminology is going away or has gone away, and now it's referred to as Oracle Cloud, and then specifically the infrastructure part of it is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So the second service that we offer, that we have also successfully executed for some of our clients, is helping customers who are on some other cloud today migrate their workloads to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. We ourselves moved our workloads from Amazon to OCI, but if you're running on Azure or any other third-party cloud, we can help you move those workloads to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure using either bare metal services, cloud services, or compute cloud services. And then if you have not heard of this tool called Revelo, I think this is a gem in the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure toolkit. It allows you to very efficiently move all of your VMware or KVM-based workloads as is directly to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or to other clouds, as a matter of fact, without making any changes to your installed applications, configurations, etc. So makes it super easy for you to migrate large volumes of virtualized workloads from on-prem to Oracle Cloud and then continue to run them on Oracle Cloud. So for those of you who are running VMware, I know many of you are, and for those of you who have large volumes of virtualized instances on VMware or whether they are KVM workloads, you'll find that Revelo is going to be a huge time and cost saver for you when you consider migrating to Oracle Cloud. And then the last piece is managed services, as I touched upon in the previous slide. In the context of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, we help customers manage the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure itself and then the layers above it. So network security, helping them provision and manage and secure their cloud tenancies, providing application and database support, and then any other add-on services to manage and maintain their workloads on Oracle Cloud. A little bit about our team and where we're coming from so that you understand our background and context and why we are able to speak to this topic today. We have deep on-prem application experience, over 20 years of implementation support and upgrade experience with on-prem applications, primarily PeopleSoft, but over the years we've picked up a few projects on JD Edwards and eBusiness Suite and Hyperion and Siebel as well. Our team has always focused on building value-added tools and accelerators that make any project more efficient than just having core technology. So the approach that we bring to Oracle Cloud also is in helping customers find efficiencies. Yes, by moving to cloud, you are going to find that your infrastructure can be optimized, your costs can be optimized, your automation levels can increase. But above and beyond that, we look at how we can streamline that entire migration process and then add on managed services that make it easier for you to manage and support. So we're always looking at adding tools and accelerators that can improve your cloud experience. Our team has largely Oracle certified and Oracle Cloud specialized, so they will have the expertise to talk to you not just about how your application workloads can be migrated, but specifically in the context of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, they can provide you in-depth knowledge and expertise that will help you be successful. And then our experience is not just limited to Oracle Cloud. We have experience with Amazon and Azure and other cloud providers, so we can help you compare and contrast and help you make the right decisions and help you migrate workloads from other cloud solutions to Oracle Cloud. Very briefly about Open World, since it's right around the corner, for those of you who are coming to Oracle Open World, or even if you're not able to come to Open World this year but would be replaying those presentations that are going to be featured at Open World. Astute Business Solutions is going to be there. We are participating in multiple cloud discussions, both with the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure team members and with some customers to talk about our experience. And if you're there, we'd be happy to meet you and talk to you about what we've done and who some of our customers are, and you'll be hearing directly from those customers as well. So let's move on and talk about which cloud is right for you and how do you even go about making that determination. But before we do that, first the basics. What is cloud and what is a cloud service? So a cloud service is any service made available to users on demand via the internet from a cloud computing provider's servers, i.e. infrastructure, as opposed to being provided from a company's own on-premise servers, i.e. infrastructure. So it is a way for organizations to get out of the data center business, because for most of you, that's not your primary business. You are in finance and insurance and education and healthcare and government, nonprofit and so on. And your main responsibility is to your business stakeholders and to your consumers. And you really should not be in the business of running data centers and upgrading hardware and software. With what you have available on the cloud today with providers like Oracle, all of that can be largely simplified and handed over to the cloud provider, because they bring specialized skills and tools and technologies that would far exceed the expectations and capabilities of what most customers can deliver on-premise. So having seen what a cloud service is, or a general definition of that, let's understand what are the three main types of cloud services customers can consume. The first one is software as a service. And here what you're looking at is an entire software application that runs as a service on a cloud provider's servers. And you as a customer just log in and use that service as in you consume it. And the services are for HR, for talent management, for performance management, for ERP, financials, procurement, supply chain, for service organizations, for sales, and for marketing, and many others, right? This is just a short list. The next category is platform as a service. Platform as a service, the easiest way to think about this is a service that you can use to build on it, as in you can create your own applications, your own integrations, your own extensions. You can automate process flows. You can build mobile applications. Platform as a service is a category of cloud services that enables you to do that. And then the third category, which is the one we are going to focus on for the rest of today's webinar, is infrastructure as a service. So you can get bare metal services. You can get compute, network, and storage services that are virtualized. You can put your backups on cloud. You can do disaster recovery on cloud. In essence, what you would be doing with infrastructure as a service is you would migrate to it, and then you would continue to leverage it for any future needs that you have. So the focus of the rest of today's webinar is going to be on infrastructure as a service. And as we go deeper into the presentation, I'll talk to you more about that and about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So having gotten through the basics, let's now focus on what are the different types of cloud you can consider deploying for your organization. And the broad categories are public, private, and hybrid. As you can see in this table, it gives you a very simple and easy to understand comparison of what is each of these services, what do they mean for you, what are they best for, and from a hardware perspective, what do you get with each of these services. So public cloud is, in general, a multi-tenant environment, which means that you may be running your applications, your virtualized instances on public cloud on physical hardware that other clients may also be using. So you're sharing your physical hardware resources with other clients. Now, that's not a bad thing at all, because there may be many workloads that you run, for example, a training instance, a sandbox instance, or maybe some dev instances, where you do not need dedicated hardware. You don't need to pay for that dedicated hardware. All you need is capacity when you need it. And public cloud offers you that flexibility and that capability. So what is it best for? It is best for non-sensitive, public-facing operations and unpredictable traffic, which means that you may not always have 100 or 1,000 users logging onto that server. It's not predictable. It may be that you have an enhancement project, you need a dev instance, you're logging in, you're using it, and then when you're done, you're discarding it or you're shutting it down. When you talk about public-facing, it does not necessarily mean that your data is exposed to the whole world. What we mean by public-facing is that the way you access that cloud service is through the public internet. It is still secure, and it can be secured through VPN services or other networking services. It does not mean that your data is exposed. It just means that the way you're accessing your cloud service is through the public internet, i.e., you open up a browser, you go to your website, and you go to oracle.com, you are making that connection using the public internet. Now, a private cloud, in contrast, is dedicated to your organization, which means that the hardware and the virtualized instances are only yours, and there's nobody else interfering with that or using that hardware. So you're dedicated a certain capacity, you're assured a certain level of performance, and you have greater control over the security aspect of that entire infrastructure on cloud. So where is this useful? If you have sensitive data, you have business critical operations, you have high performing applications that you want to deploy on cloud, private cloud services are a good way to go, and that would meet your needs. Now, in between public and private, you have a hybrid solution. So hybrid does not necessarily make you choose public versus private. And hybrid can also mean that some of your applications are still running on your in-house or on-premise data center servers, and those may be virtualized, so it's some form of cloud, if you want to think of it that way. But you may be able to move some of your other workloads to a public or private cloud, say, for example, on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So maintaining these two separate applications, but allowing them to connect to each other, to communicate with each other in a seamless fashion, that is what you want to think about when you think about a hybrid cloud solution. And there are some advantages and disadvantages. I wouldn't call them disadvantages. It's just features, really, of how these compare. So public, private, and hybrid. And as you can see, when you go to a private cloud, you have the ability to assure your business stakeholders of higher performance, enhanced security and control, and you can customize your cloud infrastructure to your business-specific needs. Whereas with public cloud, it is more of a general-purpose compute type operation. It is scalable. It is still scalable. It is lower in cost because you're not paying for dedicated hardware. Is it predictable in costs? That's debatable. You can think about it as whether you want to make an investment upfront and say, I'm going to put X amount of dollars for a period of 1 year or 3 years, and you can keep your costs predictable, or you can pay as you go, which is also known as a metered service, and your cost may vary. It can go up or down depending on your usage. So how do you select the right cloud for your business? You've seen what infrastructure, platform, and software as a service cloud services are. You've seen what is a public versus private versus hybrid cloud model. How do you decide which one is right for you? The starting point for your cloud journey, we think, should be a cloud strategy and cloud blueprint. How do you do that? You conduct some workshops, and we do this for customers all the time. These workshops will help you evaluate your current workloads that you're running on-premise or on other cloud. And you can also review your operational structures. You know, how efficient are you in managing those environments and workloads? Do you have manual processes, automated processes? Do you have the right tools? Do you have the right capabilities? And based on that review, you develop a blueprint for your cloud journey. So you may start with dev tests. You may start with Oracle applications or non-Oracle applications. But whatever your journey is, you can blueprint that, and then you can have a detailed roadmap to start moving these applications to cloud. The jumpstart portion comes in later, where you start by rapidly provisioning whatever you decide you want to move to cloud first. So if it is dev test, then you do a jumpstart, predictable time, predictable costs. You know exactly what you're going to get at the end of that service. and you can use that to evaluate and prove that all of your business criteria are met, and you can build the case to continue that model and deploy more applications on cloud. And then you have other tools that you can use. You can evaluate your total cost of ownership on-prem versus cloud. What is going to be a return on investment if you start moving these to cloud? You have to keep in mind, though, that moving to cloud, whether you're lifting and shifting or you're deploying new applications on cloud, it's not just about infrastructure costs alone. Cloud sets the stage for you to automate, to bring efficiencies in your support and tech ops and DevOps models, and it gives you the scope to scale seamlessly without having to get bogged down by purchasing servers or asking your systems teams to provision equipment and provision capacity and so on. So the summary of this is that you have to have a good, sound strategy before you make that move to cloud, and we can help you with that. Moving on, let's take a quick look at what Oracle Cloud is and what value proposition it brings to the table. So we're going to speak specifically, as I said earlier on in the presentation, about Oracle Infrastructure Cloud. Oracle Cloud overall, infrastructure, platform, and software as a service combined, offers the industry's broadest and most integrated set of cloud services today for customers to consume. Within that, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, as I said before, previously known as Oracle Public Cloud, it offers the highest performance. It's optimized for Oracle database and applications on Oracle Cloud, has a lot of security and governance and compliances associated with it, and it is really priced to perform. All the comparisons that we have done in our engagements with customers to compare either on-premise infrastructure with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or Amazon infrastructure with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, for example, we have found that Oracle Cloud Infrastructure has always come out ahead in terms of performance, in terms of price, and this may be a surprise to customers. We've had reactions when we've met customers who are leaning towards Amazon, and we go and ask them why. They've assumed that Oracle Cloud would be more expensive without having gone through that process of evaluating or formally evaluating Oracle Cloud. And I think as a customer, you owe it to yourselves to do that due diligence and understand what these offerings are. It's not just for running Oracle applications. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure can run any workload on the cloud for you. It can run it on Windows. It can run it on SQL Server. It can run it on Oracle database. You can bring your custom apps there. You can bring your legacy apps there. There's really no restriction, just like you would expect a cloud provider to say. And it really is very complete in terms of the services it offers. Now, here are some of the components of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. You have bare metal compute, which is the physical server that you have control over and access to that you can partition and use for your various workloads. You have virtual compute that can take that bare metal capacity and virtualize it for your various workloads. You have database on cloud. You have storage services. You have high-performance storage. You have regular storage. You have virtual cloud networking capability. So whatever networking configurations you have on-prem, you can replicate that or make it better using Oracle Virtual Cloud networking capability and software-defined networking tools. You have governance, so you have the ability to audit and monitor all of your systems on cloud. Fast Connect gives you high-performance bandwidth directly between your on-prem environment and cloud, secure as well as high performance. And Ravello, as I spoke about, gives you the ability to just lift and shift or pick your on-prem virtualized workloads, VMware, KVM, etc., and move them directly to cloud and drop them on cloud and start running them without you having to make any changes or do custom migrations. Beyond this, you also have general purpose compute, storage, networking, container services, and so on, but these are the ones that are the focus areas in terms of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So let's talk about why running Oracle applications and Oracle database on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure makes sense. There are many reasons. Oracle and Oracle will give you higher performance. It'll give you lower cost. It'll give you more integration. It is less risk in terms of the comparisons that you can draw between Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and other cloud infrastructure providers. So there are many reasons. But at the end of the day, what you want to also look at is moving your applications, as I said earlier, is just the first step in your journey to cloud. Once you move these applications to cloud, you want to be able to scale for performance depending on what your needs are. So for example, if you are an education customer, I know there are many education customers on the webinar today who have registered. Around open enrollment for students, you need higher capacity on your app web servers. You need higher bandwidth. You want your websites to be screaming fast. How do you do that? Cloud can easily allow you to scale. If you're a large employer with 50,000, 100,000 employees, and every year you do open enrollment, you again want the ability to scale for performance. You don't want to invest in that scalability and then let it sit idle when you don't need it. Cloud gives you the ability to turn it on and off on demand. Standardization, because now all of your systems will be deployed on similar or same compute or bare metal instances, and you can standardize your hardware software configurations. Your costs will go down because you only pay for what you use. Even if you're running a high performance workload just for a month end or quarter end process, and later you don't need that, you can shut it down. You don't have to pay for it. So you can really have a very granular control on your costs. And then the efficiencies come in, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead a slide, but the efficiencies come in by layering on monitoring tools and automated backups and so on and so forth, so that your overall operational model is optimized. So let's talk a little bit about how you can get your workloads onto cloud. Now, this is a generic slide. It does not really talk about a specific application strategy, but this is intentional. What it is intended to convey is whether you're running PeopleSoft Enterprise or JDE or eBusiness Suite or any other application from Oracle, with or without Oracle database, you can easily migrate those workloads to Oracle Cloud. PeopleSoft has Cloud Manager, EBS has its own set of automation tools, JD Edwards has its own set of automation tools that allow you to rapidly migrate and deploy these workloads on cloud. Application tier, database tier, everything that's in that stack for that application will come over very seamlessly and operate on cloud. It'll connect back to your on-prem environment. So from a usability standpoint, you may see a change in your URL, but other than that, your applications are still running the exact same way they would run on-premise. You'll just be more cost-efficient and more process efficient by putting them on cloud. If you're able to think about that and then visualize what these workloads would look like, let's change the conversation a little bit and talk about not just lift and shift, but move and improve. And this is a slightly nuanced approach here that I want to bring to the conversation. I don't want people to think about cloud as purely an infrastructure play, as in a server, on-prem server that you trade off for a cloud server. While that is part of the puzzle, that is not the entire solution here. The reason you want to move to cloud is you want to be more agile in your deployments. You don't want to be bound by hardware refresh cycles. You don't want to be bound by costs that are going to constrain you when you want to scale. You also want to optimize your usage, so you only pay for what you use and not for idle time. Those are things that you can do on cloud. So while by moving your workloads to cloud, you're going to improve your overall operational efficiencies, and you're going to set the stage for more automation and more efficiency down the road by using PaaS services. We spoke briefly about PaaS in the beginning. I talk to customers very often who have enterprise applications for ERP, for HR, and for CRM. But apart from those applications, they have a big set of manual paper-based forms that are still in their organization. They're very prevalent. So how do you move those onto an automated process? You bring this move and improve philosophy to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So moving to cloud is the beginning of your journey to optimize and automate. So what do we mean by that? You may be doing manual testing today. you may be doing backups or monitoring manually today. We spoke to some customers who do health checks routinely, but it is just purely manpower-based activities. You may be archiving, but only once in a while without a steady archiving solution. There are many use cases that you can bring up about the way manual processes are being used to support a complex, sophisticated on-prem ERP application, for example. When you move this to cloud, you have to take advantage of the opportunities cloud presents to optimize your solution by incorporating more automation, more monitoring capabilities, more self-service capabilities, and so on. Whether you're doing new implementations, a global rollout, whether you're doing a version upgrade, whether you're just evaluating a piece of software like a new image or a new version, looking at a business process change that you just want to prototype and see how it looks before you roll it out, or whether you're applying routine maintenance, you can migrate your workloads to cloud to do all of that stuff. Yes, there's a process that you will follow for all of it. You will evaluate, you will plan, build, and test. You'll train your users and go live. That's not going to go away. Your implementation processes are still going to be there, but the way you do it using cloud infrastructure on Oracle Cloud, it's going to make it a lot more efficient. You can start with some non-production instances, see how that works, stabilize that, make sure it meets all of your needs, and then when you're ready, you can move your production to cloud. We have examples of customers who are doing both, customers who have straight away decided to move production to cloud along with their non-production instances, and we have a case study to show you for that. Customers who are just doing version upgrades on cloud, we have a case study for that as well. And other customers who are just doing dev test or POCs or PeopleSoft PUM image updates on cloud, all of those are valid use cases. So since I spoke about PeopleSoft, let's talk about what PeopleSoft looks like on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And we get questions often from customers on what happens to integration, what happens to security, can I still customize my applications? Will I be able to upgrade? Will I have control over the servers? Will my DBA be able to access the database and do whatever he or she is able to do on premise? And the short answer to all of your questions is yes. Cloud infrastructure does not change any of that. It just makes your infrastructure more efficient, more optimized, more scalable. But other than that, it's business as usual. You'll still have the same level of access to your PeopleSoft instances. You will still have the same level of integration capability. Now, you don't have to automatically use cloud integration, for example, when you move to cloud. Your regular flat file interfaces, DB links, although we don't recommend that, all of those things, integration broker-based services, web services, REST-based services, API calls, all of those things will still work on cloud because it's still running on industry standard infrastructure. It is just optimized for performance and security and so on. So it's important to remember that whether you run PeopleSoft on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or EBS or JDE, whatever your application controls are, whatever your integration needs are, whatever your enhancement needs are, and your maintenance needs are, none of those are altered by moving your workloads to cloud. Let's talk a little bit more about that, right? So PeopleSoft application access, you still have browser-based access to the instance, although it's running on cloud now, not on your on-prem data center. The first time users access that cloud instance, they may notice that the URL is slightly different, but beyond that, once they bookmark it or get used to logging into that instance, it's just another URL. They will not know where that behind the scenes that's running on a server on Oracle's data center somewhere. Your developers will have complete access to People Tools and all the other utilities they need to support and manage. Your support services, if you're currently outsourced for support, not just for applications, but for database or infrastructure, those providers can continue to provide those support services on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure if you want to continue that model. Or if your team wishes to have full control over both your infrastructure and applications, they can do that as well. If you're not interested in doing that, or if you want to go away from that model and you want a partner like Astute to manage your cloud services, you have that option as well. So you have many options at your table, at your disposal, and not all of these have to be executed at once. You don't have to make these decisions up front. you can continue to evolve your cloud model as you get more and more sophisticated and as you get more comfortable with it. So just a brief comparison of how all of this would compare with an on-premise model. Integration, you have the option to use Oracle Integration Cloud if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, you will have secure network connectivity between cloud and on-premise. So let's say you have a custom application that you've built on-prem. It's a data warehousing application that has to pull data from your Oracle ERP, EBS, JDE, PeopleSoft. It will work exactly the same way it's working today, except that the network endpoint may be on cloud. Security, you still have full control over network security, database security, systems as in platform security, and application security. So none of that changes. You can still do single sign-on integration. You can do Active Directory integration if you'd like. You could use Oracle Identity Management Solutions. All of those options are on the table. Your ability to customize doesn't go away. Your ability to manage upgrades doesn't go away. And as I said, your support functions will still be there, except that now they'll be supporting the applications running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Now, here are some examples of how you can accelerate a Oracle application on cloud infrastructure. And let's take the example of PeopleSoft specifically here. So this is what it normally takes for a standard PeopleSoft instance deployment based on the latest people tools or latest application version. This is actually a slide from Oracle that I've borrowed. And roughly, it's about 14 steps to get to the stage where you have an instance up and running and fully configured. And what you should expect from cloud is a much faster deployment in 6 steps or less, so that it becomes much easier for you and faster for you to complete that deployment. Another example is running your upgrade on cloud. We have a customer now that's doing their HCM 9.2 upgrade on Oracle Cloud. It just gives them a much faster way to get that initial upgrade done. They don't have to provision servers and set them up and install things on-prem. It's faster to do it on cloud. A third example, your selective adoption process for all of those PeopleSoft customers on the call. Every time there's a new PUM image, you have to develop a process to look at that, create your change packages, whether you're just pulling a tax update out of it or whether you are doing additional fixes or new features. All of these are accelerated with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Now, one of the advantages you have with Oracle Cloud as compared to an Amazon or Azure is the Oracle Cloud Marketplace. Every time a new application image is generally available for any Oracle on-prem application, at the very same time, a fully functioning image of that is available on the Oracle Cloud Marketplace. It makes it super easy for you to pick that image from the marketplace and immediately deploy an instance, any type of instance, whether you want bare metal or compute or any combination thereof. And you save a tremendous amount of time, and you are more responsive to your business needs. Developing and testing on cloud, you don't have to run your dev test instances on-prem and manage them if you don't have to. You may not be ready to move production to cloud yet, but you can put all of your dev test instances on cloud, and as far as your development team is concerned and your support teams are concerned, it should be very seamless. They will still have the same level of access to do their work. We spoke about doing PUM on cloud. We recently did a project for a healthcare customer that wanted to accelerate applying their PUM image using Oracle Cloud, and they were extremely successful in that process. And then Oracle Cloud Manager, I'll just mention this briefly, that this tool that Oracle has developed specifically for PeopleSoft applications, it gives you the ability to further automate and monitor and maintain your PeopleSoft instances on Oracle Cloud. It subscribes to updates through your Oracle Support ID and then allows you to look at those and push those down to your instances. It allows you to define a standard topology and framework for what each instance should look like, whether it is a dev instance or a test instance or a training instance, and you can automate deployment, and you can do a lot of cool things with Cloud Manager. So I have some case studies. I'm going to spend about 5 minutes or less on these, and then we'll take questions. So the first case study is for EasyCorp. This is a customer that moved their PeopleSoft HR and financials application to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Interesting thing to note here is they're actually a Windows SQL Server database customer for PeopleSoft applications, yet they chose Oracle Cloud, and they just didn't choose this for their Oracle applications, but as a matter of fact, they're moving their entire data center phase by phase over to Oracle Cloud infrastructure. Very successful project, roughly about 6 weeks to move their production and non-production instances from on-prem to Oracle Cloud infrastructure for finance and HCM each. And the biggest advantage was that they were able to significantly optimize their infrastructure, the architecture for PeopleSoft. There was quite a bit of wastage, a lot of excess capacity that they were not using, and environments that were spun up but not active. So going to cloud gave them the ability to optimize that and reduce operational costs. Coppin State University has just started their journey on Oracle Cloud, and we're in the process of doing their initial upgrade. But within the first week of starting that project, we had all of their servers provisioned, we had a backup of their on-prem system loaded to cloud, and within the first 6 weeks, they'll have the initial upgrade completed, dev test environments deployed, they'll be doing all of their retrofits on cloud, they'll be doing all of their automated testing with PeopleSoft Test Framework and Fast Test, which is Astute's proprietary test automation tool for PeopleSoft, all of that on Oracle Cloud infrastructure. Overall, we are projecting that they'll be able to reduce their total upgrade cost by 30% or more while being able to accelerate their upgrade timeline and alleviate the overheads that their on-prem team otherwise would have had to support all of this upgrade infrastructure. Astute Business Solutions, so this is our own case study. I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that we are an Oracle customer. We had about 30 different PeopleSoft instances for various applications running at different releases, and we worked with Oracle to do a comparison between AWS and Oracle Cloud infrastructure, and over a 3-year term, we have been guaranteed 30% savings year on year compared to what we would be spending otherwise on Amazon. So huge savings for us, and the ability to be able to use tools like Cloud Manager and the automation capabilities just in Oracle Cloud infrastructure to further reduce our ongoing costs for running all these applications on Oracle Cloud. Example of a large healthcare customer, I'm not able to call out their name, but they're in the Rocky Mountain states, did a FSCM Pump 25 installation, built the change package, compared it with demo and dev, gave them that impact analysis in 2.5 weeks flat. Otherwise, doing this project on-prem would have taken them at least twice the amount of time and twice the amount of money, if not more. And what we were able to prove here is that you don't need to have this big bang approach to get started with Oracle Cloud. You have a selective adoption strategy that you may have defined internally. In this case, we help them define it. And you have now the need to execute on that. How do you implement it? You need a very agile infrastructure and capability to be able to move that along, and Oracle Cloud infrastructure is perfect for that. And then the last one is University of Santiago in Chile. They had a failed Campus Solutions 9.0 implementation on-prem, and they decided to redo that implementation now on version 9.2. And rather than going through and experiencing some of the same pitfalls with on-prem hardware, they decided to run their Campus Solutions 9.2 implementation entirely on Oracle Cloud, and that they're working on phase 1. They plan to go live with that in Q1 of 2018. So lots of good examples, and these are just a few. There are many other customers who have successfully migrated non-Oracle workloads and Oracle workloads to Oracle Cloud infrastructure. You can find more case studies and information on our website, beastute.com, and also lots of good customer stories on cloud.oracle.com. So Fal, with that, I think we'll conclude our presentation, and we'll open the line up for questions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Arvind. That was really informative. For those of you who have questions, please type them into the chat window, and we will answer them as they come in. And if there's any other questions or suggestions you'd like us to talk about, please do suggest. So, Arvind, maybe I can give you a question while people are submitting their questions. Can you tell a little bit about, what the process people go through as they're starting out, as they're evaluating whether they want to stay on-premise or go to the cloud? What are some of the questions they should be asking themselves from, say, an assessment perspective?
A great question, Fal. And this is something, as you know, comes up often in our discussions with prospects when we go and introduce cloud to them. And I want to go back to this one slide that I had earlier on how customers can get started in making some of those decisions and answering some of those basic questions. They have to take a hard look at not just how much they spend on infrastructure alone, but what is the total cost of ownership of that on-prem application or set of applications that they have. Many customers often have problems with some of the basic things that we think should be easy to run or easy to maintain, but sometimes restoring from a backup copy, if something goes wrong, seems to be a challenge. And it's not because they don't take backups, it's because they don't have the automation capability to verify whether the backup is correct and whether it can be restored, etc. So you can look at it from a database standpoint, from an application standpoint. One of the common complaints we get from customers is it takes us too long to deploy a new instance when a new image is available. And they want that speed. They want their business users to get their hands on a new image as soon as it's available for EBS or PeopleSoft so that they can start evaluating and looking ahead at what new features they want to implement. So I think speed of deployment, being more efficient in their operational services, and being more responsive to their business stakeholders, I think those are the key criteria. I have some questions here that came directly to me on the chat. So the first one is, can PeopleSoft Cloud Manager only be used with OCI or also with AWS? PeopleSoft Cloud Manager is being deployed, is allowed only on OCI at the moment. It is not available to run on AWS. Neither is it available to run on-premise for your current on-prem data centers. The next question is, are there any offerings for SaaS on PeopleSoft with Oracle Cloud? So the closest you can think of to a SaaS model of PeopleSoft on Oracle Cloud would be like a managed service provider model, which is a service that Astute offers. So we can take your PeopleSoft application, put it on cloud, manage it for you, and you'll just be responsible for using it. All other responsibilities and accountability for supporting it, for patching it, etc., would be our responsibility. And there is a managed service provider option that you have if you want to look at that. But that's the closest you can get to a SaaS model for PeopleSoft running on Oracle Cloud. Next question, are there specific tools or options that make Oracle less expensive than AWS? Excellent question. So in the context of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, based on our experience and comparing this with AWS and Azure, what we have found is that the migration tools, let's start with that. The migration tools that are available to you through Cloud Manager make it much easier and faster for you to deploy a new instance. First, to lift and shift your workloads to Oracle Cloud, and then to deploy additional instances using a template, to automate cloning of instances, to automate refreshes, etc. All of these are tools that are available for you to use on Oracle Cloud, whereas on AWS, you'd have to build all of this, and it'll be a custom build for you. The other thing that I mentioned earlier is using a service like Ravello, you can move all of your virtualized workloads almost instantly to Oracle Cloud. You're basically just picking it up from on-prem and dropping it on cloud without making any changes. So there's really no migration per se. And that's an excellent solution that Oracle has to make it easier and more effective and more efficient. Now, there are lots and lots of good data points available on how Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and bare metal specifically compares against Amazon for performance. One of the things that we get asked by customers frequently about Amazon versus Oracle Cloud is, what does it cost for ingress and egress of data? So as you may know, Amazon charges you for a significant amount of money, as a matter of fact, for bandwidth usage. Every time you upload or download data, you're paying Amazon. With Oracle, up to 10 terabytes of data per month is at no charge. So your data ingress and egress costs are little to nothing for most customers. So another big decision factor over there for you to consider. Next question, if cloud is such an obvious choice, or so it seems, and what is preventing everyone from switching over? What are some of the challenges that customers need to be aware of? So good question. I think cloud, as you may be hearing about and reading online, eventually cloud is going to be the place where everything converges, right? Whether it is infrastructure or platform or software as a service, that is the future for the world we live in and all the customers and the applications that they run. But moving to cloud is not just about taking one application and putting there and forgetting about the rest. I think it's important for customers to have a holistic view of what their current IT portfolio of applications look like, what is the age of their current infrastructure and what cycle they're on, and where can they get some immediate benefits, and how can they plan for a long-term deployment. So all those factors go in. While customers are developing those strategies and roadmaps, we are finding that many are taking advantage of putting dev tests on cloud, or putting a training instance on cloud, or a sandbox on cloud, or backups on cloud, and they're getting immediate wins out of that. So those hybrid strategies have to be employed to be successful. Next question, can Astute do this very informative webinar? So thank you for that feedback. Can Astute do this kind of session for a customer looking for suggestions, solutions specific to our needs? Absolutely. In fact, we do this very routinely. This is called, what we do is we come in and do a 90-minute to 2-hour cloud workshop, specifically talk about a customer's needs and help them understand which model is right for them. Of course, we can't give you the full solution in 2 hours or less, but we'll at least set you down on the right path, and we'll also help you understand what are the first steps you can take with cloud, how you can at least start a trial or a pilot project, and how you should evaluate it. Next question is will NetApp Snap Manager for SQL work for SQL backup and cloning? So the short answer to this is you can bring any on-prem app and run it on Oracle Cloud. You will bring your licenses and your software, and you will have access to a physical server that you can install it on. You can set it up. Now, if you're looking to install it on a specific version of a virtualized cloud instance, then you have to look at the compatibility of the operating system and other things like that. But generally speaking, there are no restrictions to moving any on-prem workload. It just does not have to be an application workload. It can be a monitoring utility. It can be a backup software that you have. It can be version control software. Any of those can move along with your application and database workloads. What can be a good first step towards going to cloud, considering we want to first evaluate it before going on? This is exactly what we did. When we went to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure from Amazon, we did an evaluation. We set up a trial tenancy for ourselves. We put a couple of our dev test instances in there. We had a good set of criteria that we wanted to measure the success of that deployment by, and we were able to go through a series of transactions and tests to make sure that the cloud that we wanted met our needs. And once we did that, we took the larger step of moving all of our workloads. So that can be expanded upon for customers as well. And as I said earlier, when we do those cloud workshops, we can help you determine what your success criteria should be based on our experience. Val, did you have any questions on your plate over there?
No, not exactly directly here. One of the questions I had, though, was you could take different paths of migrating to the Oracle Cloud. You may want to upgrade locally and then lift and shift onto the cloud, or you may want to move your applications to the cloud and then upgrade there. What's the best way for customers to think through that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you want to use Oracle Cloud Manager, then you have to be at a certain People Tools release and application release to take advantage of that. So Cloud Manager for PeopleSoft gives you lift and shift utilities, but it only works on People Tools 855 or higher. And some customers may not be on that People Tools version. So they have the option to do an on-prem upgrade and then use the migration tool that Oracle has built. However, if you are on a maintenance life cycle that, say, keeps you from upgrading on-prem for another year or two for some reason, most customers have a release life cycle that they go through. They do an application upgrade every few years. They do a people tools upgrade every few years, database upgrade, and so on. If you're in the middle of a cycle and you're not quite ready to do that next upgrade, but you still want to take advantage of cloud, there are many ways to move your workloads to cloud without using Oracle Cloud Manager, so you can at least get started on cloud. And you can take advantage of cloud infrastructure and other services. And then once your systems are on cloud, it's, I think, faster and easier to do those upgrades on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So I think upgrading is not a prerequisite, is what I would say. Whatever version you're on, you can move it to cloud today and start using it. Another question here is, what should be the first step to start the cost comparison of our on-prem cost versus OCI cost? Is there a rate card which can be referred to? So as with any other cloud provider, Oracle's cloud pricing is very transparent. It's on their website. However, for our customers to make that determination and do a full comparison, you will most likely need a partner like Astute to come in and help you develop that cost comparison and help you understand what each of those building blocks is and how you would take advantage, how you would plug that into the TCO model or the ROI model. And we have a good methodology and process for that, and we can help you with it. But in short, you have to take into account not just server costs, but resource costs, as in people who are managing and supporting it. What is the cost of refresh, whether you refresh your servers every 2 years, every 3 years? What is the cost of upgrading and supporting it? What is your backup cost, and so on? So all of those things get factored in, and then you make a decision based on that. So, but think of it as one of the customers that we met recently pointed out that they are not afraid of automation. They don't see the move to cloud necessarily as a replacement for on-prem resources, and I think that's important for customers to understand. You are not necessarily trying to reduce staff. You're making your staff more efficient. You are giving them better tools. And then the time savings, you're translating that into building more value-added solutions for your business stakeholders. If you are interested in having Astute contact you to develop your cloud roadmap and give you those specific calculations that you're seeing on the screen here, we offer that as a standard fixed fee service. It can be a week or two depending on the number of applications and your workloads, but that's something that we do for customers as a consulting service.
Great. So we're past the top of the hour. That's very informative. I think we could go on for a long time. Thank you, Arvind. That was a font of information, and obviously you've done a lot of thinking and educating on this. For those of you who are interested, have more questions, you could email info@beastute.com, info@beastute.com. Visit our website. We'll be sending out a thank you email to everyone who joined, as well as a link to the recording once it's processed and uploaded to our website. So thank you again for attending. We'll be having another webinar next month, and please be on the lookout for that topic. And thank you, Arvind. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for joining. Hope you found this informative. And if you're at Open World, please feel free to ping us, and we'll be happy to meet you in person and talk some more about Oracle Cloud. Have a good day. Bye.